Yeah, what's up, everybody? It is your AEW Dynamite post-show for Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa tear the house down. Brian Cage, is he leaving Team Taz? And Johnny Hungy gets a title shot. Let's go! Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Dave, your main man, and we've got my main man, Johnny North, with me. Johnny North is here. How you doing, Big Johnny?
I'm well. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. And we've also got our buddy, Glen Mackenzie, also here with us. Glen's here. What's up, Glen?
Yeah, not much, man. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. How'd you like Dynamite tonight?
Oh, sick. It was an amazing show today. I loved it last week, too, but this week just went over the top. It was all the way through. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic show this week. I thought it was better than last week. This was dubbed their St. Patrick's Day Slam down. St. Patrick's Day Slam. What was the name of this show, John?
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day Slam.
Oh, okay. St. Patrick's Slamboree. See, I'm wearing green. I was wearing a red T-shirt before the show started, and then I was like, wait a second, it's St. Patrick's Day. I got to represent for all my friends, especially my friends out in Ireland, my man Wally Byrne, my main man. Of course, Amy out in Ireland. Wally and Amy are good friends, great friends of the show. Shout out to all my real Irish friends out in Ireland celebrating St. Patrick's Day, wearing the green for you guys, and of course my other people with Irish ancestry, you know, their like great-great-great-grandfather was Irish, so they're like, I'm Irish! And I'm like, yeah, you're Canadian, though. You're actually mostly Italian, aren't you? And it's like, no. No. You know, there's a lot of that going around, you know, in Canada. A lot of people are Irish, and I'm like, yeah. How? Well, I go to St. Patrick's Day Parade every year, so I'm Irish. I'm like, isn't your last name D'Alessio? And he's like, no, don't worry about it, you know. Apparently everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? So shout out to all my Irish friends. Another AJ joke. I got to get them in right away. You know, he was very excited about St. Patrick's Day, and I'm like, aren't you Italian? I don't know. Anyways, he's excited. A lot of people are excited about St. Patrick's Day, so shout out to all my people that are excited about St. Patrick's Day. I am neither Irish nor do I drink alcohol, so it really doesn't it's not a day for me. I'm not, you know, it's not my kind of day. But, hey.
You were green for a second.
Was I? Did I go green? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Was I getting tinted green?
Yeah.
I am into the green, but my green day is April 20th. That's the day that I celebrate. That's my St. Patrick's Day. Okay.
The old 420.
Yeah, that's right. That's my St. Patrick's Day is 420. We're not here to talk about, you know, different things that we like to do. We're here to talk about one thing in particular we like to do, which is watch professional wrestling, and that's what we did tonight. We watched AEW Dynamite. And we're going to talk about it here on the show. How about that? How do you like that? Let's start with the main event. I mean, usually we start at the top, kind of go chronologically, but forget that. We just saw a kick-ass main event. I want to start with the most important thing that happened on the show tonight, and that was the tremendous main event between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Was this the first time, Johnny North, wrestling historian, you could tell me, was this the first time that Dynamite main evented with a women's match? It's happened before, right? It's not the first.
I feel like it is the first one, actually.
Is it? They didn't do a main event for a women's title at some point with Riho or something? No? I feel like they did that at some point.
When they had the first ever women's title match, that wasn't the main event. It was I think one of the big matches. It could have been the main event of a first hour or something, but it wasn't the main event of the show.
Yeah, this is the first women's main event match on Dynamite. I'm just checking it out. It is officially tonight. What we saw was the first women's main event. And what a main event. They knew that everybody was going to be watching them. They knew that this was going to be a big spotlight on them in the main event of a big Dynamite show. It's a St. Patrick's Day special. It was a good show. And this stole the show. This was by far the best match on the show. One of the best matches AEW's done. They excel at the hardcore stuff because you don't really see it anywhere else, right? They had their kick-ass match on the pay-per-view between Moxley and Omega, and now here another hardcore match. And, you know, they pulled out all the stops. There was blood. There was a ladder, there were chairs, thumbtacks. I mean, they did everything in this match. It didn't feel overdone to me. I liked it. I thought it was great. It was violent. It was everything you'd want one of these lights-out matches to be. I thought it was fantastic. Thunder Rosa with the senton into the chair on the floor. Britt stomping Thunder's head on the ring steps. Thunder started bleeding after that. Looked like a blade job there. Thunder starts bleeding. Then later on, Britt is a bloody mess after Thunder kicks a ladder in her face. Britt superplexed Thunder on a bed of chairs. Thunder hit a top rope DVD onto a ladder. Rebel handed Britt a bag of tacks. That was pretty powerful. When she went out, yeah! That was one of my favorite moments of the match. Rebel, even fantastic in this match. When she gives the bag of tacks to Britt, and the camera goes in on Rebel, and she's like, yeah! She's like, this is a hardcore match, let's go! Rebel was into it. Rebel went through a table. You know? Even Rebel's going through tables. And then the finish, by God. I mean, before the finish, of course, Britt Baker got power-bombed into thumbtacks. Her back was just a mess of thumbtacks. Her face, a mess of blood. Her back, just a pincushion. And then she took more tacks. She put Thunder in her lockjaw submission. Thunder rolls her over into more tacks. And then the finish, the Fire Thunder driver off the apron through a table on the floor for the 1-2-3. Thunder Rosa beats Britt Baker in a knockdown, drag-out war. I mean, we've seen 25-minute UFC fights that aren't this violent, right? We have seen UFC title fights that aren't this violent. Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa, I'm looking at you. You know, I'm just saying, it happens, right? We've seen UFC fights where guys walk away looking fine. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa not looking fine after this match. I mean, they're both beautiful ladies, obviously, but they look pretty beat up tonight. Good God almighty. What a match. Every time Britt Baker bleeds, it's magic. Last time she bled, when she busted her nose, it was like an iconic scene in AEW. Here, once again, Britt's bleeding. They tear the house down, proving once again what we have been saying for feels like months now. Britt Baker is the #1 women's wrestler in AEW. You can get your Shitas and your Rihos and your Mizunamis and your whoever the hell you have there and forget about them and just put the title on Britt Baker. Britt and Thunder are the two best you got. When Serena Deeb isn't injured and she's there, she's right up there too. But this is the elite. This is the top of the division. This is the pinnacle. Okay? It's Britt and Thunder. It's not, Riho and who did I see? I saw Riho wrestling Maki Ito. Was that the main event of their first Elevation show, right? I watched AEW Dark Elevation on Monday night for some reason. I didn't watch it Monday night, actually. I watched it like this afternoon on YouTube. And that was their main event. And it sucked. I'm sorry, Johnny. Did you like that match? I know you watched Dark Elevation. What did you think of their new show, new format, and their main event? First of all, I think Big Show sucks on commentary. Like, he's not good yet. It's good they put him on YouTube. He is not good. And Riho versus Ito? Come on now. I mean, I see that match, and that's like, one arm of the AEW women's division, and then you see Thunder and Britt tonight, and you're like, God damn. How come the gold isn't over here? How come it's over on the Riho Shida side? Like, I know Kenny Omega's kind of in charge of the AEW women's division, and he's, very into the Japanese women's wrestlers. But at a certain point, somebody's got to pull Kenny aside and say, yo, man, you see what Britt just did? Like, can we give her the belt already? What are we doing here? It's Britt's time. Is it not, Glenn? Like, it's obvious. When you saw her tonight, it's like, yeah, Britt is the champion in this division. She's the number one women's wrestler in AEW. Even though she lost to Thunder Rosa, just the
by far. Yeah,
the
she's
character, the
amazing.
facials, the promo, everything, and the matches, like she's got everything going for her. What are we waiting for with Britt Baker? She's a superstar, right?
Well, yeah, but if you put her at the top, there's nobody else who can really, other than, well, Thunder Rosa, there's not really anybody else now that could actually put a decent match together with her, right? So she's the one that's got to try to elevate these other girls to a certain extent. You can't put her at the top because who's going to actually believably beat her? You know what I mean?
Well,
not at this point.
I think you could build Nyla Rose to believably beat her. I think you could bring back Big Swole to be an opponent for, I think Serena Deeb could be an opponent. I think Thunder Rosa, she beat her tonight. That was believable, Yep. Thunder could beat her again.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When they fell, I thought Britt Baker was going to win just off that pile driver thing or the Death Valley driver, whatever the hell she did off the top. Because Britt Baker fell on top of her. You know what I mean? So I thought that's how the ending was going to be. Like they were both going to be KO'd, which I think would have been a better ending, personally. And then they had to fumble around and, push the ladder out of the way and roll her on her back. And that was the only thing that kind of got me at the end of the match. Everything was great up to that little point, arguing over a little semantic thing here. But it should have ended that way, personally.
Johnny?
I can see your point on that where, I felt like she had to roll her over. But, I mean, she's the one giving the move, so she should have the extra energy to push her over. Like, I had no problem with that. I was fine with that because she's giving the move. Yeah. So she should have the energy to push her over.
But that's what would have been great because if they both KO'd off her finishing move, you know what I mean? And then they're both out.
It would have been, but that's not what they wanted, though. And, like, Thunder finally got the win here because, like, Britt was always beating her all the time. And this Thunder finally got the win.
Yeah, this was Thunder's big win. But, John, what did you think about the match tonight? And what do you think about Britt Baker being the number one women's wrestler in AEW?
Well, I thought the match, for a hardcore match, was fine. Like, the blood really made that match, I thought. I thought once they started bleeding, you could tell the match really started to pick up in terms of the intensity. I thought it was just the basic kind of hardcore match at first. They do a little bit of brawling here and there. Like, it was fine. But then once they started bleeding, then things just got much more extreme as the match went on. The moves became a lot more impactful. They brought creative weapons. And it just got more and more dangerous, and it just got better. So, that was easily the main event of the show. It should have been the main event. It was the best thing that we saw tonight.
Oh, yeah. It was the match of the night. It was clearly the main event. It was super violent. The blood, I think, added a lot to it. I think when women bleed, I don't know, maybe this is wrong to say. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's more impactful. I feel like it's more impactful because you don't see it as often as men bleeding. And I think there's something paternalistic in some men that are like, oh, we don't want to see women bleeding type of thing. But I don't mind seeing women bleeding in pro wrestling or MMA. It's part of the sport, right? But I think that when women bleed, it's more shocking. I think when you see men bleed in pro wrestling because we've seen it so much over the years, it's like, yeah. But when women are bleeding on a national television show in a main event, it's like, Jesus, what are we watching here? What's happening? It adds to the shock value. I don't think that's wrong to say, right? I mean, it's just something you don't see as often. A lot of these women's matches, they're not given the time. They're not allowed, to do these types of things. When's the last time the WWE allowed two women to just bleed like stuck pigs? It doesn't really happen. I don't think WWE has ever put women into thumbtacks that I can recall. John, I'm sure you'll tell me I'm wrong. Has it ever happened?
Yeah, I feel like it's probably happened. Nothing comes to mind right now. But they've done so many hardcore matches that I'd be surprised that it hasn't happened, though.
Yeah, I would be too. It might have happened, but I can't remember it happening, probably in the 90s, but certainly not in kind of the past 10 years. WWE hasn't done it.
I don't think so. I don't remember that at all.
It adds more impact. And like Doug Hepburn says, when Becky bled, that was the bomb. Like when Becky Lynch got busted open by Nia Jax and she's in the crowd and she's there and she's bleeding. Yeah, but it was iconic. Like it made Becky a bigger star. There's something about a woman's face full of blood in a pro wrestling context that's like extra badass because you're willing to go there. You're willing to be that one that's going to bleed. You're more badass than the rest because, in men's wrestling, like every guy bleeds. But in women's wrestling, it's like, oh, you don't see many people bleed. Like, do you think, like I'll give you an example, John. Do you think Jade Cargill is ever Crimson Mask like we saw tonight with Britt Baker? I would say no. I would say probably not. One, she doesn't really need it because, you don't need to add to her look. Her look is goddamn everything. But it's not something that every woman would do. But if I were to tell you, like, oh, look at this big jacked wrestler man, would he bleed? You'd be like, yeah, probably. I don't know. But with Jade Cargill, like, she'll probably never bleed in wrestling unless it's accidental, right?
Well, I think it depends on the situation, the feud. I mean, this feud kind of needed that in a sense because it reached this boiling point that it got really personal, that they were willing to go this far with each other. Like, Jade, currently is just dominating the competition, so there's no one that could really challenge her to that level yet. It's too early for that to happen for her, but to say that will never happen, I mean, that's unfair to say because who knows how long her career is going to be at this point.
Okay. All right, John. I mean, I could guess how long it's going to be. I could give you an educated guess based on how she is and, I don't know. But, hey, that's another story. We'll talk about Jade in a little bit. She had a match tonight that I thought was all right. I thought that was all right. I mean, it was, for what it was short, It was short.
Goldberg squash match.
She's like a Lex Luger type. Douglas Hepburn, or who said it? Was it Doug or Patrick? I'm seeing Patrick. I'm seeing Angelo. I'm seeing Craig. Shout out to the members of the channel. We love you. Become a member.
I love the chat. And chat's hilarious.
The chat is great. We got great members. We've got a great chat. Don't forget to become a member. Don't forget to go to donate.ringsidereport.net. And you can also get cool merch that we have. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Get yourself some merch. Merch.ringsidereport.net. I saw somebody in the chat before. Doug said it. Doug Hepburn says, Dave, you have to watch Elevation so we don't have to. Do I? Do I really? Not Monday nights.
Horrible.
Not Monday night. I'm not doing it Monday nights. I'm already watching one wrestling show I don't like Monday nights, and that's Raw. And I watch that so you don't have to. But I am trying to catch up on Dark and Dark Elevation by Wednesday night. So when we come here and talk about AEW, I have an idea. But there's only so many Nick Camarado squash matches that I can sit through. And that number is 1. I'll watch 1, and then that's enough. I do like Nick Camarado, though, and I think him and Rusev would make a tremendous tag team because they look basically the same. What do you think of that, John? I know, Glenn, you're not sure who Nick Camarado is, but I know Johnny North.
Clue.
I know. Johnny North watches AEW Dark, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about. He's been running with QT Marshall lately, and I think QT's just leaving the Nightmare family and is just going to be with Nick Camarado going forward. That's what they seem to be teasing. But doesn't Nick Camarado look like a young Rusev?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, he's not the wrestler. Not even close yet, though.
Oh, no.
I mean, Hero, way more advanced in terms of his wrestling.
Well, yeah, but they look the same. Yeah, okay, Nick Camarado isn't very good, but at least he's better than Cesar Bononi. That guy sucks. Do you see Cesar Panini? Cesar Bonini? Cesar Boniani? It doesn't matter what his name is. I'm not learning his name until he becomes a good wrestler. And that may never happen. Salvatore Sincere? What the hell is that? What? Did you see that Luchasaurus spot, John? I tweeted it out this morning. Did you see? They had to edit it out of their YouTube show because it was so awful. It was such a botch. It's on my Twitter, at Dave Simon MMA. You can check out the Luchasaurus botch. Luchasaurus and Cesar Bononi had a match on Dark or something, and it was horrible. And they do this thing where they're just walking around confused, and then at a certain point, Luchasaurus just points to the ropes. He's like, run there. And Cesar Bononi does it. Oh, my God. Glenn, you have to see this. It's on my Twitter, at Dave Simon MMA. Watch the video. It's like 9 seconds. It is hilarious. It shows you how bad Cesar Bononi is, and it also shows you how bad Luchasaurus is. God.
I'm
damn,
gonna have to get Twitter,
John.
man. I don't Twitter.
Oh, you got to get on Twitter, all right? You got to see what I'm doing.
I got too much social media, man. It's hard with Twitter. I can't add another between Tinder and Facebook and Instagram. I got issues.
John, you want to comment on Glenn's Tinder?
I'm joking.
It sounds like you have way too much social media drama, it sounds like.
Glenn's got a lot of drama.
For sure.
Glenn's
a lot
sending
of
me
drama.
pictures of like bikini ladies wearing Glen WO like underwear. I'm like, what's going on here, Glenn? What is your life exactly? Why do you have bikini ladies like modeling your
Bikini
merch?
ladies.
It's very strange. I don't know what's going on.
They're my friends.
Oh,
They're
okay.
my friends. What do you want to tell me, man? The Glen
That's
WO is a
cool.
very exclusive clique.
Yeah, they seem to be
I'm
like
just saying,
modeling Glen underwear. I didn't know you made underwear, women's underwear. Very
Got all
strange.
kinds of stuff coming,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
All kinds
yeah.
of stuff. I'll hook you guys up with some merch too. We're gonna upgrade your merch.
Oh, cool, John. You're gonna get
For
new
sure.
stuff, John.
Done deal. I'm
I
gonna
never got a
overhaul the
Glen
whole
WO
merch.
one.
Well, you weren't there. I'll get you one. What do you want? You want a hoodie? You want the zip ups? This is the pullover hoodie. Beautiful. It feels like you're wearing cashmere.
You got a tank?
Get a tight shirt. Yeah, of course. Got tank tops. I got women's tank tops, men tank tops, whatever you want, man. Jogging
John's a man.
pants.
John's a
Yeah.
man.
Got it all. I know he's a man. He's a man's
Men are
man.
good, yeah.
We'll get him whatever he wants. He's got food. I'll get it with FUBU on there. We'll get a Glen WO or even a
Okay.
John WO. I'll
Whoa.
do whatever you want, man. Whatever. John WO. John Woo.
See, Glenn,
Let's
you can't tell, but this is John excited at a 10 right now. Like, he is excited level 10. He's super hyped. Look at
It was
him.
funny.
Pretty happy.
Somebody in the chat commented before that, like, because I'm waiting for you. Like, you're talking, right? So John and I are just staring here with death stares. One of the guys commented, like, John hasn't blinked or something. Someone called me a pirate.
Yeah, people sometimes John is so stone-faced, sometimes people think that he's actually frozen, like the image is frozen. He's not. He's waiting. He's biding his time. I see Mako
I
says,
thought that-
like a tiger, Johnny is ready to pounce, you know? I get it.
Man of few words.
Mako
Man of
wants to
action.
know how he joins. Mako, it's very easy to join. You become a member of the team. That's how you join. You become a
There's an
YouTube member
icon.
like Douglas did, like Angelo and Patrick, like Craig, all the guys, they know how to do it. Mako, you're on the show all the time. I see you in the chat. You just got to become a member. That's how it works, man. And then Glenn will send you Glen WO gear, maybe. You know, who knows?
That's what I was going to say. Listen, anybody who joins tonight,
Whoa!
I will personally deliver, maybe with one or two of my models, a Glen WO t-shirt to you. Personally. I'm a D-class celebrity. I don't know what you guys heard. It's a big deal.
We have viewers all around the world, Glenn, so I don't know. You might have to be making some trips.
Well, I'm all around. They don't call me Mr. International for nothing either. I fly. After this COVID's done, I'm gone, boys. I'll be doing, if I'm on Wednesdays with you guys, I'll be doing it from California, Europe,
Wow.
wherever you want, man.
Look at this guy.
I travel.
International.
I got
Mr.
bangs, man. I got to move. A guy with bangs at this age has to move.
Is that bangs, or is it like it's you kind of have like the old school like 1995 like Backstreet Boys cut, you know?
Yeah.
You look like
Lady Roxbury, man.
It's like a Nick Carter type of thing going on, you know?
Hey, man, I'm 45 years old, man. Any type of hair that I have at this age is a fucking gift. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
I'm celebrating. I'm
God
celebrating my hair. I don't even have any gray. Like a couple of
Again
hair,
with the
man.
AJ jokes. So many AJ jokes
The what?
tonight.
Oh, John, that's you making it.
No,
I love
to me,
AJ.
I totally took that as a shot on AJ right there with the lack of hair. Like, was that not a shot on AJ?
No, it wasn't. You just interpreted it that
Oh,
way.
I just interpreted it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, I did.
Rude,
you have a
John.
secret hate for AJ, I think, in
Yep.
there, John. I don't blame you though. He gets under your skin. I did charity events with him for a long time, and that's how we originally got on the radio
That's right.
with Dave over here because of our charity things. And he's like a little chihuahua all the time, always in your ear, you know. So, but I love him.
He's a
I
good
love
man.
Anthony.
We love AJ.
AJ
Shout out
likes to
shout out
shout
to AJ. I'll be back here tomorrow night with AJ, 8 p.m. for Ringside Report MMA. We'll be previewing the Kevin Holland Derek Brunson fight. And I'll tell you right now, Kevin Holland's going to beat the shit out of Derek Brunson. So that's my prediction, okay? Glenn, you like Kevin Holland? You see what he did to Jacare in his last fight? Did you see that shit? He's on his back. Jacare is on top of him, and Kevin Holland's like, yeah, that's cool. Pow, 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 pow. Knocks him out off his back. I was like, what the hell is that? Incredible. Oh, yeah, Jacare was black belt on top of me. Whatever. Bam, bam, you're out. Like, what?
Yeah,
that was the craziest shit I've ever seen. Yeah, but God, those punches were hard, man. He generated some serious power with those hammer fists from bottom. Yeah. Good God, Kevin Holland. I think this guy's going to be something. Anyways, MJF is something. That guy, he's cool. He showed up with the Four Horsemen or whatever they're called in a private jet to Dynamite, so that was a thing. And then we had the match to kick off the show. It was Pentagon versus Cody. I thought this match was really good. Cody hit a nice top rope Hurricane Rana, Canadian Destroyer, hit his Oz Cutter for a 2 count, hit the Crossroads for a 2 count, hit the Vertebreaker for a 2 count, couldn't put Pentagon away. Pentagon did his arm breaker thing where he like snaps the arm and breaks it. But then Cody didn't sell it and rolled him right up for a 3 count using the arm, pinned him. After the match, he sold the arm. Pentagon attacked him, beat him up a little bit. Arn Anderson came in, and Dustin Rhodes showed up, and then Billy Gunn's kids showed up. Billy Gunn eventually, like, hobbled in, but Pentagon was, like, long gone. I don't know why Billy Gunn, like, when Billy Gunn showed up, it was like, well, who's that guy? It was like, oh, it's Billy Gunn. Oh, what's he doing here? Oh, he's just, like, with the baby faces that have already saved Cody. Billy's just, like, late to the party, even though he was ringside during the whole thing. I don't understand why it took Billy so long to get into the ring. I thought the match was good, but I hated the finish. Like, Penta snaps your arm, it's super hurt, and then immediately you use that arm, and you have enough strength in that arm to pull him down and keep him down for a 3 count after you hit all your finishers on him and you couldn't finish him. He breaks your arm or whatever, hurts your arm at least, and you're able to just no-sell the move, roll him up, and win. And then after the match, you're like, oh, my arm. Like, I understand shot of adrenaline. You got to do what you got to do in the moment. But if somebody is hurting your arm that way, your arm is that compromised, it doesn't make sense for you to have the strength to roll the guy over and hold him down using that injured arm, if indeed it is injured, which it was because he sold it after the thing. So the finish was dumb. Cody's selling is like on and off lately. Was it 2 weeks ago? He like took that power bomb from Shaq and no-sold it completely. Here he's taking an arm breaker from Pentagon that looked nasty. Like it was a good move. And Cody's like, yeah, not selling. It's going to beat you now. Didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. You know? And then Penta beats up Cody after the match. Like the match was good. I guess it's going to continue now. But the finish sucked, John. John, what did you think there? What could they have done? I mean, Cody could have sold it, right?
Well, also, don't hit so many finishers. I think that also took away from it as well. They just hit too much stuff. That was the problem, I think. Like, you can still do that stuff and then shove adrenaline, but the fact that he did everything, then that, it just felt like it was overkill at first. Like, it was okay at certain points that match, but it was overdone. That was the problem.
I think what they should have done was, saved one of those finishers for the finish. Instead of doing the roll-up using your arm, you do the arm breaker, you're up, you get back to your feet, you're hurting your arm, you're selling the arm, but then you kick Penta in the gut, crossroads him, 1, 2, 3, second crossroads. I think that would have been a much better finish. That way you don't compromise the sell job of the arm, and you get a nice clean finish with a finisher, and you could still sell your arm after the match. I just thought it was dumb that he hurt his arm, and then he used that hurt arm immediately to win the match. I would have liked him to get up, sell the arm, kick to the gut, quick crossroads to finish, and then you keep selling. I think that would have been much better, right, Glenn? I mean, that just makes more sense. Like, They just need to call me sometimes or text me and ask me for a finish.
Yeah, no, I hated that. I mean, Pentagon was kicking out of everything. It was like 3 or 4 finishers in a row, and he's kicking out of everything, man. Like, he's unstoppable all of a sudden, which I don't really believe is kind of part of his character. But, like, you know, he's tough, but he's not one of those guys who kicks out of 4 different finishers.
Yeah.
You know, the Cody Cutter, the Crossroads, the Canadian Destroyer. I mean, it was all there. And then he does this little cheap celebration, and then they do a little, like, schoolboy roll-up. And it actually, they did that last week, too. I forget what it is, but they do it at least once a week. And it like for a finish, and it's just it might have even been a Cody match where it's just those stupid little roll-ups at the end, and it's like, okay, well, we're not sure how to finish this, but Cody's got to win, so you be a jackass over celebrating, and Cody will roll you up and teach you a lesson that you shouldn't over celebrate. And
yeah,
but
wasn't
it was
the
a dumb way to
Darby
finish.
Scorpio match? Wasn't there a weird finish there?
Could have been. I
don't
can't remember. I know
It's too much
every
wrestling.
week there's one of them.
John, you have a good memory.
They did have like a roll-up thing, but that wasn't weird though, because that kind of made sense because Scorpio was like beating up Darby pretty good. Like Darby had no chance but to get the roll-up in that one.
Okay. Yeah, not so bad. But this one, you know, not great. And I wouldn't have hated the spam finishers, you know, Cody hitting all his finishes and Penta kicking out for everything. I wouldn't have hated that if they had a better finish for the match itself, you know? I wouldn't have hated that sequence if they actually had a better finish here, but the no-sell of one of Penta's signature moves leading to the loss to Penta, it's like, I don't know why Penta loses here, and then he does the beatdown. I guess we continue with Penta and Cody, but, I mean, this match was good. I don't know how much we need to see it again, though. What do they really do the next time around? Like we said, Cody just hit Penta with all his moves. The only way to kind of make this bigger is do some sort of hardcore match, I suppose. You don't want to overkill that, though. You know, you just had an exploding barbed wire death match. We have this crazy hardcore match with the women tonight. I don't know if you want to necessarily overkill a big hardcore match. So I wonder what they do here with Penta and Cody, how they keep this thing going. And this other sub-story with the Nightmare family, like, stop. Like, QT Marshall, does anyone give a shit if he's with Dustin Rhodes or not? Like, Cody didn't even seem to give a shit at a certain point. Like, Dustin and Billy Gunn's kids were kind of, like, looking at QT. QT comes out after after Cody gets beat up by Penta, and Dustin and Billy Gunn and his kids show up to save the day. QT shows up, he's on the stage, and he just looks at them, and Dustin looks at QT like, what's going on here? It seems like QT's not with the Nightmare family anymore. No one gives a shit about QT. They're trying. Like, they just give up. Or put it on Dark or Dark Elevation or whatever the fuck it's called. Evolution Dark. What's it called, John? Dark Elevation? Wait, hold on a second. I lost Johnny. Hold on a second. Where's Johnny? What's it called, John?
I said Dark Elevation.
Dark Elevation. That's where they need to keep that storyline, right? Do you want to see this story? Do you care about the Nightmare family, John? It seems to me there's so many goddamn members of the Nightmare family, I don't know who's in it anymore. I have no idea. And I think most people that watch AEW don't even know and don't care. The only reason this is a thing still is because it's Cody's thing, kind of. But even Cody seems like he's his own thing, and it's more of a Dustin Rhodes thing. And Dustin Rhodes is barely on Dynamite in a way that we care, right? So what is this Nightmare family thing? Who's in the Nightmare family? I watched most of Dark Elevation, most of Dark. I watch Being the Elite every single week. I've seen Sammy Guevara's blog. I've never, ever missed an episode of Dynamite from the inception of Dynamite. And I couldn't tell you who is in the Nightmare family. I've got the stupid AEW action figures in front of me. It doesn't get more hardcore than me when it comes to AEW. And I have no fucking idea who's in the Nightmare family. And I'm telling you, AEW, Tony Khan, listen to me because I'm your target demo. I'm a male, 35, buying a bunch of shit, watching your show every week. I don't give a fuck about the Nightmare Family, Tony. Move on. I'm just telling you. And no one else does. No one does. Lee Johnson and the Gunn kid. I think the Gunn kids are in the Nightmare Family. Maybe Billy Gunn's in the Nightmare Family. I think QT Marshall is still in it. I think Nick Camarado might be in it now. I don't know. I think there are some other guys. Is Top Flight in the Nightmare Family? Who's Top Flight? There's just so much going on. Who's that guy who's like Sammy Guevara's lucha friend? What's that guy's name? Is he in Nightmare Family? Fuego del Sol? Fuck that guy. I shouldn't even know his name. This is the problem with AEW. Yeah, there's a fucking guy named Fuego del Sol. I'm not kidding. See, this is the thing. You can talk to people that know AEW and like AEW, and you mention some of these characters to them, and they're like, who the fuck is that? Who's Fuego del Sol? Who the fuck is Lee Johnson? How many kids does Billy Gunn have? Like, what is this shit that we're watching? Some of it is good. Kenny Omega's cool. John Moxley's all right. We like Pentagon and Cody and shit, and Britt Baker are doing all right. But there's this whole background of AEW that's like, it's a Conor McGregor meme. Who the fuck is that guy? That's AEW, left and right. Who the fuck is that guy? Shout out to Conor, Proper 12, Ireland, St. Patrick's Day. God damn. I need a drink. I need a Proper 12.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, watching this shit.
I'm your guy.
God damn, pal. So, John, who's in the Nightmare Family? Pop quiz. Name all the members of the Nightmare Family.
I think I know.
Well, that I know of.
No.
I think it's Cody. It's Dustin. It's QT as of right now.
Okay.
It's Lee Johnson, Nick Camarado, Billy and his two kids, and there's a girl too. I forget her name. She got injured recently, but she's also part of the Nightmare Family.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a girl. I forget.
Red Velvet.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or
she was helping out a lot.
Velvet. She was helping, but I don't know if she actually became part of the family though. But there was a girl, and Cody was training, but she's injured now, so I forget what her name was. But she was a part of the Nightmare Family.
I don't think she was officially.
Okay.
I don't think she was officially.
Cody gave her the label.
I don't know, because I have a list now of the Nightmare Family members, and I don't have a woman other than Brandy in the group. And, John, you did very well. So you named Cody, Brandy, Dustin. Arn Anderson is technically in the Nightmare Family. QT Marshall is technically in the Nightmare Family. Austin, Colton, and Billy Gunn are all in the Nightmare Family. Lee Johnson, Nick Camarado, but you forgot one. You forgot one member of the Nightmare Family, and when I tell you who this is, Glenn will have no idea. Way! The former Mr. Bailey, Aaron Solo. Good job, Johnny. You are good. You are good.
Watch Enough Dark.
You really do. Aaron Solo, who was, I think, engaged to Bailey, but now they're not together anymore. I learned that because I saw it on Twitter. He posted a whole long thing about, well, we're friends, but it's not happening anymore. I was like, all right. Bailey's single. Let's go. Glenn, maybe you need to hit her up on Tinder. Say hi to Bailey, Get yourself on the WWE. You could be on Ding Dong Hello. You could be the next.
Whoa.
That'd be pretty good.
Why not?
You could be Bailey's Reginald. You know what I mean? I hear Carmella's looking for a new sommelier. Could be you, man. Could be you one day.
Hey, I'm available. I got nothing to do.
There you go. Mr. International's got time, baby. All right.
Well, shit. I mean, gyms are closed. What do you want me to do? Fuck. I can't.
One day.
Next Friday.
Just sitting here.
When's the next jiu-jitsu competition that you can go to that you know of? Anything? Is there anything on the calendar?
I'm actually booked for a couple of things in Florida and Arizona.
There you go.
But I don't know. Like, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna go because it all depends on the return. You know what I mean? I think gyms are starting to open up a little bit, so I don't know if I can, risk
When's that
quarantining
supposed
for
to be?
2 weeks. Well, oh god, yeah. So they're saying 20. Yeah, well, anyways, you're supposed to open on the 26th. They're saying like you're not allowed touching, and I don't know. It's all over the place, man. I gotta wait till next week to see what they officially announce. I know a lot of gyms are saying like, oh yeah, we're back, we're reopening, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, gyms where you can socially distance, but jiu-jitsu gyms is kind of like, social distancing is kind of against the point.
Yeah, but from what I understand, it's like depending on your mat space, divided. Like I could technically, from what they've posted on one of their websites, I could have 30 people in my academy at any time, right?
Can they touch each other? Can they roll and do techniques and stuff?
I guess not. I don't know, man. They're saying bubbles of 2 are okay, and anyways, it's a lot of bullshit.
Wow,
it's a lot of bullshit.
Fun stuff.
It's been a year, man. It's crazy.
Hey, remind me, I need to talk to you about mats. I need some good thick mats, and I'm sure you have a link on them. Right? You know Matt, man.
Get them branded with some Glen WO if you want. Really.
Oh, now we're talking. All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We'll talk. That's a whole other story for a whole other day. All right, Young Bucks interviewed backstage about Rey Fenix and Pac. This is where it got good. Matt Jackson says they've lost to Phoenix and Pac in singles competition, but their match will be a tag team, so get ready for the tag team match. When is it? We don't know. They still haven't announced when the Bucks will defend the tag team titles against Phoenix and Pac. Maybe next week, but no, not next week. Maybe the week after. Right? They didn't say anything, did they, John? When's that match?
Yeah, I don't think they know yet, so that's why they didn't say anything. I think when they have their next big event, because the pay-per-view's in May 30th, so I imagine we're probably going to get this match before then, but whenever they have this next big thing, like the next St. Patrick's Day Smash or whatever they're going to call the next one, you know?
Mm-hmm. When's the next thing? Like, St. Patrick's Day landed on a Wednesday, so that worked. I mean, they could do anything, right? Spring Break, Spring Stampede, AEW's 420 show. Is any wrestling company going to do a 420 show on April 21st on a Wednesday night? Like, that'd be cool. AEW's 420, they bring in RVD for one night. You know what I mean? Just keep his girlfriend away because she cannot wrestle. Anyway, speaking of RVD and Impact Wrestling, he's not an Impact anymore, eh? Where's RVD? Did he retire?
He just does independent shows now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Don Callis interrupted and said that, the Bucks... he admitted to the Bucks that he was faking a few weeks ago when he said that they kicked him in the face, which is an angle that everybody forgot about and they had to address here for some reason. John, did you even remember? Like, I know we remembered, but like, why did they have to bring this up? Didn't that happen like a month and a half ago where Don Callis got apparently attacked by the Bucks and then he pretended that he got attacked by the Bucks so that Kenny would be mad at the Bucks? And then Don Callis here, and he's like, oh, yeah, I was faking that time a month and a half ago that some of you remember. Was that necessary?
Well, I guess it's because they're doing this whole thing with Callis is the one that's bringing down Omega, and they had that come to fruition in the ring. So that's why I guess that had to be said, because that was kind of like one of those lingering things that was never really settled.
Yeah, it was weird. How about the whereabouts of Shaq? Speaking of lingering things that have never really been settled. We still don't know where Shaq is. He disappeared from the ambulance and has never been seen again. I think he's dead or missing or something. I don't know. He's like a huge star. I was listening to like an old Biggie song, and he's talking about Shaq, and I'm like, God damn, Shaq has been a cultural icon for years. Like when the Notorious B.I.G. is rapping about you on his first album, you've been around, and you're a pretty big star. You know what I mean? Big star like that, and he's disappeared. Shaq and Biggie actually have a song together. Shaq did a rap album, and he had a song with Biggie that's actually very
Shaq
good.
Fu.
Yeah, but what's that song with Shaq and Biggie?
Is it on his Shaq Fu album or whatever?
You Can't Stop the Rain. I think it was on Shaq. You Can't Stop the Rain. That was the name of the album.
DMX?
The name of the album was You Can't Stop the Rain. And the name of the song was You Can't Stop the Rain, the title track featuring Notorious B.I.G. And it is a goddamn good rap song. Shaq's best song by far. I mean, it helps that he had maybe the greatest rapper ever on it, so that doesn't.
As good as John Cena's "Bad Bad Man."
Way better, man. The features on this Shaq album are sick. So, Shaq put out an album in 1996, and he has Notorious B.I.G. This is appearances, features, verses from Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Peter Guns, Lord Tariq, Mobb Deep, Bobby Brown, Rakim. Like, what? What? Mobb Deep, Rakim, Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls, Bobby Brown, all appearing on Shaq's album in 1996. You Can't Stop the Rain. Don't fuck with that album, okay? That album is hard. That is good shit right there. God damn. Mobb Deep.
Really went
Woo. All right. Why are we talking about Shaq?
The whole East Coast was there.
Yeah, man. He got all of New York. Crazy. Beautiful
Pretty much.
stuff. Anyways, Young Bucks don't know any about that stuff. They're from the West Coast, and I don't think they like rap music. They don't know about
I
Can't Stop the Rain.
I drove through Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, yeah? What's it look like?
Yeah. Shit. It's nothing. It's I remember I was going from California to Vegas, and I drove through Rancho Cucamonga, and I was like, this is where the Young Bucks are from. This is a real pile of shit. And motored on to Vegas.
You would think they would have left, but they're still there, building wrestling rings and whatever. I don't know. They like it. Hometown. What's Don Callis saying here? So he cuts a really good promo. Young Bucks don't know why Don Callis is there interrupting their little interview. He's got a T-shirt for their dad. It's a no leg slapping T-shirt, taking a stab at the WWE there, saying that you can't slap the legs anymore on strikes. Don says that he wants to bring out the Young Bucks that were in Japan. He says that they're killing their careers and letting everyone else take credit for things around here. Don says that he elevated Kenny to the top, and the Young Bucks are at the bottom, and they're just another tag team in flashy tights living off their name. Don asked the Young Bucks that, when you look in the mirror, do you see the same guys that you were in New Japan Pro Wrestling? And he kind of walks off. It was a good promo. It was solid. Good stuff, to the point, pushing the story forward, making some points that I think a lot of people, he's saying some things that are true. He's saying some things that people have noticed that have been watching the Bucks for a while. They don't seem to have the same edge. They don't seem to have the same intensity. I think that they've been nursing some injuries and, whatever, they're EVPs of the company and maybe they're distracted. I don't know. But the Bucks don't seem like they have the same fire. Maybe they're getting older. Maybe, they're still a very good tag team. But I don't know if they're the same tag team that they were 4 or 5 years ago. Those guys, they were just hitting on all cylinders. They were really just perfect every time they went out there delivering some incredible matches. These days, they can still get to that level, but they don't hit that level as often as they used to. They used to live on 10. They could still hit 10, but they're kind of chilling at a 7. Their matches are about a 7. They could get to the 10, but they don't get there as often anymore, and you start to wonder, well, when you don't get there as often anymore, can you still get there? And at a certain point you can't, and it's over. Kind of like we're seeing with Chris Jericho. Jericho, for a while there, he was like perfect. Jericho in 2007, 2008, 2009, I don't know if there was a better worker in the whole business. But over time, the Jericho who every time pulled off a 5-star match, then it was like, well, every couple of times it'll be a 5-star match. Then every 3-4 times. And then maybe once every 6 months. And then maybe once a year. And now it's like, well, is he capable of it anymore? It happens. It's professional athletics. It works in a worked sport just like it works in a real sport. Degradation over time. Injuries, age, whatever. And the Bucks have a lot on their mind. But I thought that the Don Callis promo was really good. made some points, and it drove a wedge between the Bucks and Kenny and his whole squad. And we saw that later on. But first, Johnny, what did you think of that Don Callis promo?
Well, I liked it because to me it spoke a lot of truths that a lot of people feel about the Bucks, that they feel like it's kind of been overdone. And yeah, like you just said before, they don't have that same spark that they used to have. They aren't the same team that people saw in Japan, and people keep saying like, well, what's happening? Like they said the same thing about Kenny. Now Kenny's trying to bring it back up, but the Bucks didn't do that. So Don's just kind of calling them out on that.
Kenny is elevating, and the Bucks are plateauing, right? And you look at the four guys, the Bucks are the ones that are kind of lagging behind right now. Cody continues to elevate his game. Kenny continues to elevate his game. The Bucks are the Bucks. Right, Glenn? I mean, they're great, they're fun, but I don't think they're the hottest thing in AEW right now.
I've always liked the Bucks. I don't think they've been degrading that much. I mean, I always find their matches very entertaining. They're usually on point. They don't really botch up any of their moves too often. I think they're there. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, as people get older, I mean, I think it might just be their storyline that they're a little bit not too involved in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really...
Not much going on there.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Like, that's up to them, though. I mean, they're in charge, right? They're in charge. They're two of the bosses of the company. And if they wanted better stories, they could do better stories. It's a little
maybe
bit
they're more
weird.
Concerned with...
It's weird, though. Like, yeah, I think they're more concerned with other things, but...
Yeah. Like Cody.
They're the tag team champions. Yeah, Cody, too. He's another one. It's like... I guess he's feuding with Pentagon now, and I guess the Bucks are feuding with Phoenix and Pac, but, are they? But the Bucks are tying into the whole Kenny thing, and I think that they're starting to feud with the Good Brothers, and we're building towards something at least with the Bucks. But just kind of in the meantime, since the FTR feud, it's been kind of like, and that's the thing. They beat FTR to win the belts. Since they've won the belts, what have they done? Who did they beat? Anybody?
Well, they beat Jericho and MJF. That's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't a real tag team. I don't know. I haven't been super impressed with the Bucks tag team title run. If you compare it to Kenny's world title run, I think that's been a little bit more fun, a little bit more of an exciting ride, right? So,
like the guys in the chat are talking about the hockey game here.
Yeah, whatever. That's all right. I want to talk about Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston talking about Toy Story. So Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston kind of backstage promo about the Good Brothers. Mox says big Luke Gallows looks like Forky from Toy Story. And Eddie Kingston quotes 50 Cent and Tupac. I like Eddie Kingston.
Oh, shit, he said Forky. I thought he said Corky. I don't know if you guys remember Corky from that show. He was a kid with Down syndrome, and I was like, wow, that's really out of line. It was, I forget the name of that show, but Corky, I'm sure some of the guys in the chat know, but Corky, I was like, oh, that's a little far. But now it makes sense with Forky, yeah.
That's super old school. I have no idea what that is. But I do know Forky because I have a 3.5-year-old son, and we have Disney Plus. So I'm very familiar with Forky. Forky asks a question. I've seen all those shorts. Forky asks a question. He's pretty good, Forky. I like Forky. Anyways, he was comparing Luke Gallows to Forky because he's got googly eyes, and Forky is just like a spork with like some eyes put on him. He thinks he's garbage, but he's a toy now. He's confused. He's like really dumb. He's like, I thought I was garbage, but he's like, no, you're a toy now, Forky. And Woody has to explain to him, how to be a proper toy. You got to see Toy Story 4 to get it. Anyways, so that was Eddie Kingston talking about that, and then he was also talking about 50 Cent, and he's quoting 50 Cent, and he's like, never shot nothing, never popped nothing, stop fronting. And it's like, Eddie Kingston, have you shot people? Like, is that what you're trying to tell us? Because he's like, Good Brothers, you guys talk about Bullet Club, but you guys haven't really shot anybody. And it's like, pardon me, Eddie Kingston, have you shot people? The hell is he talking about? I think he's fronting. All right, Eddie Kingston, you're fronting. Fucking guy. He's so goofy, man. It's just weird. Last week he's talking about being... Yeah, I think he is a wankster. All right?
Great wankster.
He's talking about being in prison. This week he's talking about shooting people. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. Are you Haitian Jack? Like, are you a gangster? I never heard of you. I've never heard of anything you've done. As far as I know, you've been in the pro wrestling business since like 2002. And I know there are some shady characters in the pro wrestling business, so I wouldn't put it past him to have been a gangster or a criminal in some kind of way. I just don't really believe it. I don't really believe it. So Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston had a match with the Good Brothers. Moxley rolled up Anderson for the win. The Good Brothers attacked Kingston from behind. They did a pre-match beatdown on Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. Brawled around the ring, hit Moxley with the Magic Killer outside the ring before the match, but still couldn't beat Mox and Kingston. Interesting to see the Good Brothers lose a match here. Impact Wrestling guys come over to AEW and lose. Kenny Omega comes to the ring after the match. Kenny sits on a chair in front of Moxley, but Eddie attacks him. Then they beat up Eddie, stomp on his leg with a steel chair, so Eddie's like got a leg injury. They put a steel chair around his leg and stomp on it, breaking his leg or whatever. Then they put Moxley's neck in the chair and go to the top rope to do the same thing, stomp on the neck that's wrapped in the chair, but the Young Bucks show up to stop them. And then the Good Brothers and Kenny are mad with the Bucks, and they want a whole group Too Sweet to show that everything's cool. They want to throw up the Too Sweet and everybody come together and do it. But the Bucks don't want to Too Sweet them. Even though the song that their dad wrote, it's Too Sweet Me when you meet me, Too Sweet Me when you walk on by, show me some love when you meet me, for the love of God, Too Sweet Me. That's my favorite line in any wrestling-based song. Show me some love when you meet me. For the love of God, Too Sweet Me. It's such a desperate plea for a Too Sweet. Set to music written by the Young Bucks' father. It's a fantastic tune. Really good stuff. It's fucking weird.
Should do a duet with Shaq.
Yeah, he should.
Remix it.
It's a musical show tonight. So the Bucks don't want to do the Too Sweet. Matt Jackson's like, no Too Sweet. And then Kenny's mad. He grabs Matt Jackson. He turns him around. And he's like, I demand that you Too Sweet me. For the love of God, Too Sweet me. And Matt's like, no. And Kenny's like, ah! And he gets mad, and he takes his shirt off, and he whips it at the Young Bucks. Which is always what I do when I get mad. I take my shirt off. That's a...
Of course.
Does that ever happen to any of you guys? Do you ever get so mad that you're like, I'm taking my shirt off out of anger? It's just a weird reaction, but that's what Kenny did.
I'm about to do it now.
I think that's a pro wrestler thing. John, you're a pro wrestler. Is that something that you do?
Well, it's something that wrestlers have done. I haven't done it, but I'm in that position to do it. I mean, some people have done it, though. I've seen people just do it because it just goes to show that it's escalating the fight.
In the ring, though.
Right.
But he wasn't trying to fight the Young Bucks. He was just mad at them. Why did he take his shirt off?
He was pushing him with the Too Sweet on his head. He gave him like 3 Too Sweets for the forehead, which is like a bitch slap.
I guess he was like threatening him by taking his shirt off, like, look at my muscles, I will fight you now. I don't know. It was weird that he just ripped his shirt off and threw it at them. And Nick Jackson's like pointing at Don, and he's like, you made your choice with Don Callis, Kenny. You turned your back on us first. And then Moxley, he wakes up, and he goes after Kenny and the Good Brothers with a chair. They roll out of the ring. And then the Bucks kind of look at Mox like, oh, okay, maybe we're going to be friends now. It was not bad. It was not bad. And now I think, we set up the Bucks and Mox against Kenny and the Good Brothers. I think we're going in that direction. I think Eddie Kingston's going to sell this leg injury. He was sitting outside the ring, and he was like yelling at the referee going, get me in the ring with Mox. I want to help my friend. Get me in the ring with Mox. But he couldn't pick himself up to get in the ring because he's selling the leg from the chair. So maybe they keep selling Eddie Kingston out with an injury, or he just, is the manager with them or whatever. But I'd say that's the match. Maybe even for the next pay-per-view. Kenny and the Bucks versus Moxley and the Bucks versus Kenny and Carl and Gallows. Maybe you do that at maybe not the next pay-per-view. Now that I think about it, you probably don't want to do a world title match there, but at least their next big Dynamite show, right, John? That makes sense.
Well, Kenny's going to be wrestling, I believe, is it Matt Sydal next show? So
Next week, yeah.
And then if Matt Sydal beats him, he's going to have to wrestle him again for the title. So Kenny might be busy for a couple weeks.
Matt Sydal's not beating him. That's just a stipulation. Because it's just a reason to have the match. Because Matt Sydal is Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal hasn't he lost to some, mid-carders on TV already?
I feel like he lost to mainly, top stars, really.
Like who?
He lost to Cody.
Okay. Didn't he lose to, Dolph Ziggler's brother or something?
No, I don't think Ryan Nemeth beat him.
No. But, I don't know. Matt Sydal shouldn't beat Kenny. I don't believe in that. I don't like that. I think Kenny beats Sydal next week. Glenn, what do you think?
Oh, for sure. I think it's going to be like a beatdown match, too.
Yeah. I think that's what it should be.
Not a squash match, but he's going to smack him around a lot, and they're going to build up the heel aspect of it a little bit more.
100%. I think Kenny wins that match. Maybe he has to cheat to win, but he definitely wins. I don't think Matt Sydal gets a title match. What's the point? He's not going to be the champion. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Him in a little tag team with his brother, that's fine. I like that. Jade Cargill versus Danny Jordan. I like that too. Squash match. Jade hit a nasty kick and a German suplex. That German suplex looked horrible and devastating. Good God, that looked rough.
She messed that up for sure.
I mean, she overshot her, right, John? What do you think?
I think she meant to do it.
She meant to do it.
Yeah.
What? Why would you
match.
intend to do? I mean, I guess it's like a Brock Lesnar, I don't care where you land, I'm throwing you type of thing. But good God.
Exactly.
Right? That's what it was. Like, I'm going to German suplex you and you land where you land. I don't give a shit because I'm big and strong. All right. It was, it was what it was. She hit her, glam slam move for the pin. I liked it. It was a squash. Jade looked good. She looked strong. She didn't botch anything too much. It was a tape match, so even if she did,
there was 3 moves.
They could have cut it out. Yeah, I mean, she didn't do that much. What she did was all right. The kick looked pretty snug. The German suplex looked rough. The finish looked all right, but I think you could have finished her after that German. Good God. And then Jade got in Red Velvet's face after the match. Red was ringside watching it. And you probably do the Jade Cargill Red Velvet one-on-one at some point down the road. So, yeah, fine. Jade looks so good. Like she's just, her hair is perfect. Her face is perfect. Her body is, perfectly sculpted. I don't find her sexually attractive. I'm not into, it's fine if it's for you, but I'm not into, very muscular, she would crush me. She's tall and very muscular. That's not I'm not sexually into her, but I think that you know what I mean? I think she's awesome looking. I think she looks cool. She looks like a superhero. You know what I mean? I think her look is amazing. I see her and I'm like, holy shit, that's a star. I don't see her and I'm like, ooh, so sexy, Jade Cargill. Whatever. I think she is sexy, but not. You know what I mean? That's not what I primarily think of her. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking ooh, Jade Cargill in that way. I'm thinking, look at that. I think Jade Cargill is sexy like Roman Reigns is sexy when he comes out. When you see Roman Reigns, right? Straight, gay, whatever the hell you want to be. You can't deny That motherfucker, when he comes out with his hair and his perfectly chiseled beard, it's like perfectly done, and he's jacked, and he's like, does his look. It's
chiseled
like,
beard.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? He's like looking all perfect. Like, you could tell, like, he takes a lot of time making himself look presentable for TV. Like, it's like, all right, Reigns, well done. I see you're putting in the effort to make yourself look good. He looks the part. He looks like a superhero. Jade Cargill looks like a superhero in the way that Roman Reigns does, in the way that Randy Orton does, in the way that Charlotte Flair does. You know what I mean? They're sexy motherfuckers. They look like superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Come on, guys.
I hear you. I hear you on that one, but it's still limited what we've seen of her. So we got to see more before you can really say like she's going to be like a top star. Like she's got to do more than just like 3 moves a match. I mean, that's nice to do the whole Brock Lesnar gimmick, but is she going to do this the whole time? I have a feeling that they're going to have to do more with her.
Yeah, I think so. But over time, you know, it's like when you first saw Lex Luger, you're like, what the hell is that? Who's that guy? You know what I'm saying? That's what Jade Cargill is to me. She's like, what? That's pretty. She's got a 10-pack of abs. 10-pack. Some people have 6.
Wrestle,
Some people have 8. She has 10. Yeah, but she does a cool German suplex. She hit the Beth Phoenix slam pretty good. Like, she's not great. She's not Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa, but there's room for her on the show. You know, like, there are worse things you could put on AEW TV, and they do. Right? I mean, I saw Kip Sabian tonight, so let's not pretend. I would rather watch... Yeah, Angelico got to wrestle for some reason. I would rather watch
Angelico.
Jade Cargill than Kip Sabian, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how they're going to build her up.
You like that promo, John? All right.
I thought Miro was great in that promo.
Miro was good. I agree. I thought Miro was really good in that promo. They were backstage. Miro was doing, what do you call that, pull-ups?
Pull-ups.
Those are pull-ups, right? But he was doing them, like, barehanded, and he wasn't on a bar. He was just on, like, concrete. Like, it was pretty impressive. Like, it looks like his hands were just, like, hanging like Spider-Man on that thing. I was like, what are you doing there, Miro? He's a strong dude. You know?
Very powerful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Miro, look at that sexy motherfucker. Handsome. Strong. He used to call himself Handsome Rusev. Remember that? Fantastic. Good God almighty. I love that guy. Miro backstage doing pull-ups. He's interviewed about the rematch with Orange Cassidy and Chuck. He doesn't want to do the rematch. He's like, I know Chuck is like trying to offer me to be my butler for life if I take the match and I lose or I win here, but I'm moving past this. I don't care about this anymore. And then Kip shows up, and he's like, well, hold on a second, Miro. I kind of want the rematch. These guys ruined my wedding. And, you know, let's not forget that, you also shoved one of those guys into my wife, and she fell, and she's hurt. That happened at the pay-per-view. And Miro's like, look, don't worry about your wife. Having your wife at ringside is the worst thing for your career. Believe me, you don't want your wife around, which is good because Lana and everything, you know. And then Miro's like, look, I don't care about you or your wife or anything because the only thing that's important to me is to fulfill my destiny and become the world champion. This was Miro's best promo since he's coming to AEW. The best. Because he said, look, Kip, whatever, or thing, whatever, I'm here to be at the top. I'm not here to fuck around with you. It's basically his point, and that's what I've been waiting for. It's not like, hey, Kip, let's play video games. Hey, Kip, let's plan your wedding. Hey, Kip, I'm the best man. Hey, Kip, look at my cool T-shirt. It's like, hey, Kip, I'm trying to be the world champion here. I don't care about your wife. Get the fuck out of my way. And that's what he needs to do. So Miro tells that to Kip, and he's like, look, we're still friends, but, I got to be the champion. And Miro walks away. And then Alex Marvez asks Kip Sabian, like, so, do you accept the rematch? And Kip's like, yeah, we're taking the rematch. Which is weird that Kip could just, like, single-handedly accept a match for him and Miro And the way that the match is made is by Kip telling Alex Marvez as soon as Miro walks out of the room that, yes, we will take this match. That was weird. But, John, I do agree with you. I thought the promo was decent. I thought Miro did the best job he's ever done. And, Kip was there. But I like Miro. I really do like Miro. I want him to succeed. I like Miro. He's good. Gotta love Miro.
Well, I think him and Kip, they're probably not going to win this match, so this could be the end of them as a tag team, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Good. Finally. Sick of these guys as a tag team. End it. Is the match next week, though? No.
Is it not next week? I thought they said next week.
Did they? I don't know. I didn't notice. They got a lot of matches set for next week. FTR and Sean Spears against Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin. Gee, I wonder who's going to win that match. The new faction. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. FTR and Sean Spears against Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin. It's like, come on, guys. Matt Sydal versus Kenny Omega. Nyla Rose versus Tay Conti. Hey, Glenn, Tay Conti is a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, okay? So watch out. Don't fuck with her.
Oh, fuck.
Don't fuck with
Gotta watch out.
They talk about
I got one of my old
so
blue belts
much.
hanging up behind me over here. There it is,
go.
one way. Originals somewhere. I'm all
They
wrapped
talk
up in
about
my
it
wires.
so much. They're like, she's a black belt in judo and a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like, it's cool, but it's nothing to really, like, brag about on TV when you're a pro wrestler. You know what I mean? Because there are black belts out there.
She was over in
it's
NXT,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
The
She's
Mae
Brazilian.
Young Classic, I think it was.
She's
Yeah.
Brazilian. For real.
Yes.
For real. Brazil.
Yeah. They tried her out for a little bit. I don't know. She doesn't have
She's
much
good.
charisma, so.
She's
got a
though.
good look.
Yeah. She's going to be good in AEW. I think she's got a good future. She'll wrestle Nyla Rose next week. I think she'll lose, but I'd like to see her win. I think that would be good, but probably not. Okay. Of course, Darby Allin defending against my man Johnny Hungy next week, the TNT title. That was a bad promo. Darby Allin, anytime Darby Allin talks, it's like, oof. Sting and Darby are interviewed on the stage. Darby says, I won the TNT title in December, and I've defended the title 3 times. And the crowd didn't know to react. They were like, yeah! Right? He's like, I won the title. Yeah, he got mad. I won the title in December, and I've defended it 3 times. Crowd's like, good for you, Darby. You're the best. We love you, Darby. And he's like, no, that's bad. I wanted to defend it more. And they're like, sorry, we can't tell if you're mad or happy when you talk because it's so fucking monotone, dude. Sorry. That reaction from the crowd.
Sad.
I know. He's always sad. He's emo as fuck. That reaction from the crowd was so good. I only defended the title 3 times. Yeah. No, it's bad. Stop cheering me. Good babyface, Darby. Great babyface to like berate the crowd for giving you the wrong reaction. No. It was so bad.
I actually like that. It's good.
Yeah.
What? Why?
You should tell him, like, no, this is a bad thing. To be honest, and like it was. He's completely right about it. This is a bad thing. I'm glad he called him out on that.
But isn't it his job for them to react the way he wants them to? Like, he's supposed to say it in a way that they react properly. He should have said, I've been the TNT champion since December, and for some reason, they've only let me defend this title 3 times, and I've wanted to defend the title way more. Pause for your applause there. There are ways to do this. It's not like, I've defended it 3 times, and they're like, yeah, man, 3 times sounds awesome. Good for you. He just should have worded it better. Got a terrible reaction, led to an awkward moment with the crowd, and now he says he wants this, and he's clearly a babyface because he's like, I want to pay tribute to the greatest TNT champ of all time. And the crowd started chanting, and I couldn't tell what they were chanting. At first I thought they were chanting Cody, And I was like, oh, Cody, yeah, I guess he's the greatest, 2-time champion. And then he's like, Dark Order, I'm issuing an open challenge to you. And I was like, oh, they were chanting Brody. I get it now. Clued in. Little dumb Dave. I was like, huh? Cody? You saying Cody or Brody? They're saying Brody. So then Lance Archer shows up, and this is when everything got even worse somehow. He's mad that Shivani's interviewing Sting again, and he's sorry for taking up time, but it should be his time all the time. Archer's obsessed with time, and he says that the internet might like you, Darby, but you're the biggest indie-rific disaster the business has ever seen. And then Jake the Snake gets on the mic. I mean, Lance was like pretty good. Lance is like, you're an indie guy. I think you're shit. People might like you, but I think you suck, right? And then Jake goes, hey, Darby, you better go put your bun back on, your hot dog bun. And Darby's looking at him like, what? And he's like, because you're nothing but a weenie. And I was like, what?
It took me back to my childhood, watching Jake and WWF.
Go put your hot dog bun back on. You're a weenie.
It was so cheesy. It was good, though. I don't know. Like, I when a guy wearing mom jeans calls you a weenie, it's pretty funny.
Oh.
And the way he says it, too.
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah,
put your hot dog bun back on. You're nothing but a weenie.
That was Jake's best spot since being in AEW. That's all I'm saying. It's the first time I've liked him in there.
But I enjoyed it, but not his best. Like, he's had good ones.
That's a terrible line. That's a terrible line. Go put your hot dog bun back on, because you're nothing but a weenie. I've never heard that before. That was horrible.
That should be a shirt.
You're calling somebody a weenie? A weenie. That's what you're throwing out there? People were swearing on the show. MJF said bullshit. And Jake Roberts says, put your hot dog back on, Darby. You're a weenie? Fucking weenie?
Hilarious.
And then Jake's like, hey, Tony Khan, you need to realize you shouldn't be playing with fire, and you got to watch out because Archer's going to get you too, Sting. And then Archer and Jake leave. And then Team Taz shows up. Like, it's just like, what are they doing here? Did they get the cue? They're like, oh, okay, we're going to wait. Team Taz is polite. They're like, let's let Archer. He seems really mad that he doesn't get enough TV time. So let's let Archer finish. And then when he's done, if there's time, we'll go in and we'll do our thing. Okay, guys? Okay. Team Taz on 3. 1, 2, 3, Team Taz. Like, what? What's the backstage meeting there with Taz and his boys going like, all right, guys, we got to give Lance Archer his time. You know, that's Jake Roberts out there. We got to be cool. You know, like, what is going on? So Team Taz shows up. Taz starts talking. Brian Cage snatches the mic from him, and he's like, you're not going to speak for me tonight, Taz. And you're like, where's this coming from, Brian Cage? And Brian gets in Sting's face, and he's like, Sting, we had a crazy match, and I respect you now. And with or without the bat sting, you're still the icon, and I love you, basically. And then Ricky Starks and Taz and the whole team are like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Why are you saying that? And Brian's like, I just wanted to say it. I love Sting. And then Brian just walks away. Big muscle Brian walks away, and Team Taz just chases after him like, what the fuck was that, man? And then Sting and Darby and Tony Schiavone are just there on the stage. They look at each other confused, and they're like, I guess nobody else is coming out now. We're going to go backstage. Segment over. That's my payday for the night. Good God. That was,
it was a little
terrible. Weird. It was terrible. It was by far the worst thing they did tonight. And what the fuck is Brian Cage doing? Why is he leaving the Team Taz now? And does anybody give a shit? Why? Why? For what?
Well, I'd like to see him against Archer, to be honest. I think that could be a pretty good match.
Yeah. Is that what this is for? Is Archer going to be is Cage now going to be defending Sting's honor for Archer? And he'll wrestle Archer on behalf of Sting? And now Darby can move on? Like, is that Sting's career now? he needs like one of the young AEW guys to kind of have his back so that he can, survive? Is that like I mean, the match should be fine, but like Brian Cage turning babyface now on Team Taz when they've been together for what? 3 months? 4 months? Like, how long has this team been a team? AEW needs to stop breaking teams up. A year? No way.
Close to it. I mean,
been a while.
They were feuding with Moxley back in the summer.
Okay, I guess, man. I don't know. It doesn't feel like they've been together long enough for them to break up and it mean anything. Like MJF leaving the Inner Circle doesn't really mean much because he's been with them for a very short amount of time. They break up these groups too early. They've broken up a bunch of groups that, the company's only been around for like less than 2 years, right? So I just don't understand breaking everybody up. Yeah, but you broke up the Inner Circle. You're breaking up Team Taz now. Like, what? And Team Taz without Brian Cage, what is it? It's Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs. It's 2 guys. And Hook, who's not a wrestler. Not yet, anyways. He's Taz's son, for real.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay,
yeah,
I was wondering who the hell he was.
Taz's son, who's training to be a wrestler, but he's not yet a wrestler. So you have Will Hobbs, who's green as fuck, who doesn't know anything, who's like new. No one knows him. And Ricky Starks, who's good, but like you don't need to remove Brian Cage from the situation here. Unless you turn all of Team Taz babyface and they become Sting's friend. Maybe he just, joins Team Taz, Sting. Or they kick Taz out and it's Team Sting. I could see that. You get rid of Hook, get rid of Taz, and then you just do Team Sting. And it's Sting and Brian Cage and Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs. That's a good group. It's not a bad group, but it's not what they're doing. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Ray Phoenix beat Angelico by pinfall. It was all right. It was what it was. Was there a babyface in this match? Was there a babyface? Because Pac seemed to act like a real dick. After Ray Phoenix beat Angelico, Pac just like got into Angelico's face and was like yelling at him. And I was like, that seems like a heelish move. But I think Ray Phoenix I guess they're heels, no, because they're with Pentagon, right? But Angelico is definitely a heel because he was like helping Matt Hardy when he was putting out a contract on Hangman Page in the Dark Order, right? So he's a heel. So it was a heel-on-heel match. That was, a few spots, and then that was that. John, I know you like that stuff. You're a big Jack Evans Angelico fan. Did you like this?
It was actually hard to pay attention because Walter was debuting in NXT, so I didn't really see too much of this match. But from what I saw, it seemed all right. But, I mean, you can do heel versus heel. It's fine. They do face versus face so many times. Like, what's wrong doing heel versus heel?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It was kind of a throwaway match. I just did not care about it. All right. MJF has his group. They do a big promo in the ring. Tully Blanchard's there. He's cutting the promo with MJF, FTR, Shawn Spears, and Wardlow. Tully talks about what they did to the Inner Circle last week. Says they're the new greatest group in pro wrestling. MJF gets on the mic. He's like, I guess I am Judas now. MJF says pretending to like Jericho was no walk in the park, which Jericho could use more of. Since Jericho needs to get more exercise, I think, there, MJF. MJF says every time Jericho spoke, he had to fall back and not speak as far. He had to fall back as far as Jericho's hairline, so he was taking a lot of shots at Jericho. Says he pretended to like Jericho and his ha-ha comedy bullshit, but his goal from day one was to destroy the Inner Circle from the inside and build an even stronger group, which he has done, and they are now called the Pinnacle. Talks about all the guys and how good they are, and they're going to take over the Inner Circle. They're going to take everything from them, and first they're going to take over the Inner Circle's locker room, which you would think would be followed up with a backstage promo where they do that, but that was the last time you saw the Pinnacle on the show, and the Inner Circle was not even seen on the show tonight. John, was that a mistake? Like, why did MJF say that they were going to go take the Inner Circle's locker room? Did he say that because they went because it was empty, because none of them were there? Like, can you explain that to me? I don't get it.
Well, they just took the sign down and they went in the locker room. I mean,
Oh,
that was the whole point of that.
that's it? Okay.
That's it.
All right. What do you think of the name? The Pinnacle.
I have nothing against it. Isn't it like some sort of vodka, though?
I don't know. Is it?
Glen?
I don't think so.
You're resident alcoholic over here.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I've heard Pinnacle before somewhere too. I don't know if it's a vodka or if it's a dick pill. It could be one or the other. Like the Viagra, Cialis. Get yourself a Pinnacle.
I think
Something like that, I
Pinnacle.
don't know.
Very interesting.
I hear Pinnacle. I think like baseball cards. You
That
know?
was a very
Are they
long time
Googling?
ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Do they
Hold on a
not make
second. I'm getting on
Pinnacle
the Google.
baseball cards anymore? Pinnacle
I think
used
you might
to
be
make
right about the vodka though.
baseball cards, and that's what I'm thinking of. Pinnacle baseball cards. Anyways, they're called the Pinnacle. I don't hate the name. It's kind of like whatever, but it's a lot like the Elite, isn't it? The Pinnacle, the Elite, kind of similar, but hey. They're called the Pinnacle.
It's a horrible name. It's a terrible name.
Yeah, I don't like it. But what else were they going to call them? The Six Horsemen? Like, I don't know. MJF
Johnny's
and his
right,
friends.
by the way.
Oh, Pinnacle Vodka.
You got
There
the
go.
Pinnacle.
That's a
It
thing.
is, man, yeah.
Johnny's right again. Johnny knows everything. He's got all the facts.
He's out of control. He's 10 for 10.
Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher and the
10%.
Blade beat Jurassic Express and Bear Country. Marco Stunt got tossed out of the ring at one point by the Bear guys and almost died. That was pretty rough. That was a cool one.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah, that was
crazy.
What a catch!
yeah,
I don't know
Butcher
who caught him
saved
at the end there.
Marco's-
The Butcher, right?
The Butcher.
Yeah.
He saved Marco Stunt's life there. Hey, Johnny, like he
Oh, yeah, he
saved
was-
his ass. And Marco thanked him. You
Yeah.
can see Marco thanking
Sure.
him like, thank you, brother, because you fucking
Yeah.
just saved me. Because they tossed me, and he was about to, head plant right down on the floor, and Butcher kind of grabbed him and made sure he didn't over-rotate. That was scary. Good job by the Butcher. Good job for saving Marco Stunt's life there. That match was kind of a mess, though. Marco Stunt at one point jumped in the ring to attack when he wasn't the legal man. The ref was seeing it right in front of him. Nothing happened. Bear Country and Jurassic Express were arguing in the match, and it cost them. They got distracted, and there was like a big brawl on the outside, and then Marco was left alone in the ring. Matt Hardy hit his deal and pinned Marco Stunt for the win. Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher, and Blade win. That's a new team. And no one thought to give them a name. It's just Matt Hardy's guys. Like, Matt Hardy has a new group, and it's like, yeah, who cares about naming them? It's just like Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher, and the Blade, which is a mouthful. They're together now. They're a team. You have MJF's
Hardy
group.
Party.
Yeah, it's like the Private Hardy Party was at first what they were calling them, but now they have Butcher and the Blade, so it's like the Private Party, Hardy, Butcher, Blade, Bunny. Like, it's
B&Bs.
a lot. They need to come up with a name for them, like House Hardy, Hardy Empire. Didn't he call it the Matt Hardy Empire? They should do that. Like, call it the Matt Hardy Empire. Matt Hardy Incorporated. Whatever you want to do. Matt Hardy Incorporated is actually not bad. Like Matt Hardy Inc., Money Inc., but Matt Hardy Inc. Whoops. Everybody just fell.
I thought it was Matt Hardy's
too much
company.
Pinnacle.
I thought that was the name of it.
The Matt Hardy Party?
No, Matt Hardy's company. I thought
Matt
that's
Hardy's
what they
company. Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
that they were given a name. I don't like Matt Hardy's company. That just sounds like Matt Hardy's like got friends over to his house. Matt Hardy's got company. I think sounds like a bad sitcom. You know what I mean? Look who's coming to Matt Hardy's house. It's the Butcher and the Blade. Matt Hardy's got
It
company.
seems like one.
Yeah, it's not good. But yeah, they had their match there and they won. So that's something. Christian was interviewed backstage. Christian talks about being a workhorse. He says that he's not here to take anyone's spot except for Kenny's spot, the champions. And it's like, okay, Christian's here in the company. He's like, don't worry, guys. I'm not here to take anybody's spot, but I do want to be on top and be the champion, which is kind of like, what? But, doesn't really make sense. That's okay. Christian tells Kenny that he's on borrowed time as champion. He recognizes that he's going to need some wins in AEW before he merits a title shot, but he knows that he's going to see Kenny down the road and that he's in AEW to cement his legacy to outwork everyone. He said 3 words, outwork everyone.
He's been saying it a lot.
Yeah.
That's his t-shirt.
Is that 3 words? Could outwork be a 1 word? I guess.
That's 1 word.
T-shirt, it's 3.
Outwork. Outwork is a word. It's 2 words. Everyone is also a word. A section. Work done outside. Oh, wait. Work harder, faster, or longer than someone else. Verb. Outwork. So, it's 2 words. Why is he saying it's 3 words? 3. Yeah, on the shirt it's 3, but it's outwork everyone. So basically what Christian is saying in his thing, it's he's going out, he's going to work, and then everyone. It's just, hey, it's not
all
outwork.
Encompassing.
It's not outwork everyone, like I'm going to work harder than everyone. It's just 3 words, really. It's out, work, everyone. It doesn't make sense. It's 2 words. It's 2 words. Suck it. No, 2 words. Outwork everyone. Outwork everyone. 2 words, Christian. 2 words. What?
I hate what they're doing to him.
He's like, 3 words. Outwork everyone. And I'm like, what? Crazy.
I understand why he's doing it that way, and I understand your point too, but it's what we have.
I'm correct.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I understand what he's doing too.
Because I'm not. I'm right. Christian is wrong. It is Christian who is wrong. It's the children who are wrong. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're done. I'm done. Are you guys done?
We're underworking everyone.
I think we're done. Let's underwork everyone. Let's underperform. No. Let's end the show on a very positive note. Because the Dark Order was given an open challenge for the TNT title, and they accepted. Dark Order is backstage. Little Brody, -1. He wants the title shot. And they're like, Evil Uno's like, maybe in like 10 years, but you're 9 years old. It's probably not a good idea, -1. So he's not going to do it. And then Uno's like, well, who should get the shot? And everybody in the Dark Order puts their hand up, except for Johnny Hungy. And then Reynolds, Hungy's tag team partner, is like, what about John? And they're like, yeah, that sounds good. And then the Meat Man says, yeah, Johnny Hungy. And it's Meat Man time. Pizza Boy. My man, Johnny Hungy's getting a title shot on Dynamite next week against the TNT champion, Darby Allin. He is going to shine bright like the star that he is. It's Hungy time. Johnny Hungy. I'm so happy to see it. I do not think that he's going to win the championship, but if he does, I will go fucking crazy on the show next week. I'll do the show without a shirt on next week, all right? I'll go so nuts. I'll be like Kenny Omega. I'll rip my shirt off on the show. I won't wear pants. Who knows what I might do? I mean, I don't want to turn everybody off from the show next week, so let's say I'll be fully clothed. It'll be fine, even if Johnny Hungy wins. Don't worry about it, okay? I don't want to, push everybody to be like, oh, I'm not watching next week. What if Johnny Hungy wins and Dave's going to be naked? And no one wants to see that, right?
Well, hey, hold on, man. Hold on.
Some people might want to see that.
Fans.
Go to my OnlyFans.
People in the chat. Anthony in the chat will probably want to see it.
AJ wants to
for
see
sure.
It. You can see that on my OnlyFans, but you got to pay. It's $20 a month. Okay, that's a whole other.
Oh, speaking of Only, by the way, maybe you should wear one of the Glen WO panties. Come on, there.
Oh my
look at that. Huh?
Glen has an OnlyFans. Glen is a porn man.
Only Glen's.
Cool friends. Only Glen's. Off.
Glen's showing off.
Yeah. Only Glen's.
You said that they were going to be on the show, like on the couch there with you tonight. What happened?
Well, I could. There's a curfew, man. What do you want me to tell you? You can't. How are you going to get them home?
You don't. They spend the night. brother.
Good point.
I mean, what do you mean? They spend the night. How do you get them home? This is amateur hour? What are you talking about?
He said, anyways, I'm not going to get into the details here, but I like to sleep in my own bed. Come on. What's happening here?
You got to get
boys. This is an amateur hour here.
You got to get a king size bed.
This is a ringside report.
You got to get a king size. All right? Or do like a WCW. WCW
I still
World
have a
War
water
III. What? I'm not surprised by that at all. Do like a WCW World War III of beds. You know, you just like do 1, 2, 3 beds. Like they had 3
The waterbed
rings
match.
at a 3-ring battle royal. I love that. So anyways, Johnny Hungy, Meat Man, Pizza Boy getting a title shot next week. I'm super happy. I love Johnny Hungy. I think he should win. He won't. But, you know, the match is going to be awesome. I can't wait to talk about it next week. It's going to be great. All right? Pizza Boy! Boys, it's been good getting you on.
Hell of a
It's
ride.
been good talking Dynamite. It's been good having everybody watching. I want to give a shout-out to everybody that was watching. Angelo, who's a member of the team. Doug Hepburn, who's a member of the team, who says Ringside Report will soon be available on Pornhub. It will not be available on Pornhub.
I got some connections with Pornhub. I can get you in.
I'm not surprised that you do, Glenn. The connections that you have never surprised me.
I'll get you in, boys. Live from the studio. No problem.
Too much controversy with that company right now. I'm staying away from them. All right?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Too much heat. I'm staying away. I wish them the best to good people. I know people that work there too, but I say, good for them. God bless them. Angelo, shout out to you. Shout out to Mako, Doug Hepburn, TK. Is that Danny Bruck? Oh, Danny Bruck. Not that guy. AJ.
He's not suspended anymore.
Love you, AJ. Angelo, shout out to you. Bob Cote, shout out to you as well. I'm sorry the Canadians lost tonight. For those of you that were watching the game, I know you were sad. I saw some of that on the chat going on. Canadians
I was watching it the whole time. Horrible.
I don't know shit about that. Tomorrow I will be back here 8 p.m. with AJ and Freddie. We're going to talk MMA. As soon as I wrap up this show, I'm going to go start watching a bunch of fights to prepare for the preview tomorrow, okay? I'm going to cram a bunch of fights in. I'm going to go to UFC Fight Pass. I'm going to watch a bunch of shit so we can give you more winners. You know, last week, we told you, all 3 of us were unanimous. We said Ryan Spann, as the underdog against Misha Cherkunov, should not be the underdog. He should be the favorite because he will win. I said it. AJ said it. Freddie said it. Co-main event last week. Glenn, you see what happened? Your boy Misha Cherkunov got the smashing from Ryan Spann. Got the smashing big time.
Misha. I've trained with Misha before.
Misha used to look like Lex Luger. Now he's looking like Lex Luger today. Like, he's not looking as jacked as he used to, right? Is he off the gas or what's going on? When I first saw Misha Cherkunov, he looked like he was on all the steroids. He was like the most jacked guy. Like, albeit this is like 12 years ago, so he's much younger at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was on steroids. I'm just saying, like, he was so jacked at one point, man. He was so huge. And this time, like, you know, he's in his late 30s now, and, like, he doesn't fight as often as he used to, and he just didn't look like himself, and he went out there and he didn't have a great performance, and I just kind of saw it, because Ryan Spann, he's like 29, 28, like he's on the come up, and Misha's kind of on the downturn of the career, and it's, you know, it's like we were talking about before. It's not to disrespect or disparage any of these athletes. Father Time is undefeated. You can't compete against that, and eventually, as a pro athlete, you start to decline. It's just different at what age it is for different guys. But all that to say, we all saw it coming, and you know, Ryan Spann is just a powerful dude, and he got the win in the first round. So we cashed in. We're going to give you more winners tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But Glenn, you know Misha. He's a nice guy, Canadian guy. I hate to, you know, bet against him and all that, but sometimes when you see the angle, you gotta give it to the Ringside Report universe. Sometimes my personal feelings have to go to the back burner, and I have to just give straight analysis, even though I might be predicting somebody that I like to lose. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no, he's technically one of my teammates in an off sense. Bruno used to teach him when he was in Toronto before he came to Montreal and opened Gracie Barra. So that's why when he uses that head triangle, it's the same one that Bruno showed. Anyways, but he's been around for a long time, man. It's been 16 years.
I remember I was at his first pro fight. I don't know if you were at that fight, but he fought a kung fu guy who fought in basketball shorts and did not look ready for Misha and was not ready for Misha. Got obliterated.
He's getting old, man. And he's probably off the gear, too. I'm sure he was. I don't want to say when people are on or off gear, but chances are he was.
I mean, it's just the eye test, right? You kind of look and you're like, what's going on there,
Yeah.
Good, man. And like AJ says, that's why you go to Bellator and get TRT and you do whatever you want over there because they don't have USADA, so you don't really have to be tested all the time. And they only test you at, the post-fight and maybe a pre-fight drug test in Bellator. So you wonder why a lot of the older guys gravitate towards that company. Less testing in Bellator.
That's why Anthony lost his hair.
Yeah, AJ, that's why AJ lost his hair because he's on steroids. He's still on steroids. They just don't work. They're not working. But he's on them. He's hoping. He's just very hopeful on steroids. He's like, one day I'm going to get super jacked. He's just on steroids for years, hoping he's going to get ripped. But Johnny North over there, natural as hell, he's got it. He's got it going on with the muscles.
La natural. Natty.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.
AJ bashing tonight. Wow.
AJ's not on steroids. Just to be clear, AJ DeLecio is not on steroids. He says
not on good ones, anyway.
Oh, actually, maybe he is. He says he blames the Skittles. So maybe he's on steroids, but also Skittles. So it just counteracts, and that's why he can't put on the muscle. The Skittles just kill him. All right, thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to become a member on the channel. Go to donate.ringsidereport.net. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Get yourself some of this beautiful merch. Thank you to Glen. Go check out his gym when it reopens. Gracie, Baja, West Island. Go to Johnny North's Twitter at North Genesis. Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You can follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel. There you go. Like the video. Subscribe. Click the bell. Dig. So you get notifications every time that we're on. I'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Johnny and I will be back here Friday night, 10 p.m. to preview WWE Fastlane. Hell yeah. Fastlane preview coming up Friday night, 10 p.m., right after SmackDown. We'll see you then.